So when people ask me, what is it like to be on YouTube? I always give the quick bumper sticker response of, it's been an adventure. Hey guys, what's up? It's Kelly again, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what it's like to run a YouTube channel. Now, of course, all YouTube channels can be wildly different from one another, and I'm not sure how common my experience is within the YouTube creator community, but regardless, I think you'll find it interesting. Whether you're just curious about the behind the scenes of YouTube channels, or maybe you're considering starting your own, or you already have one and you're looking for some advice and perspective. A few weeks ago, I posted a very detailed video about my journey to getting monetized on YouTube to mean that I make money off of the ads that show on my videos. And in that video, I talk about how much money I made within 1 year on YouTube. So if you're interested in anything dealing with monetization, make sure you check that video out because I'm not going to touch on it in this video. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is my setup. I've been on YouTube for about 20 months now, and throughout the course of that time, my setup has really progressed. Lately, I've been talking to a lot of people who are curious about starting their own YouTube channel, and it seems like the major hang-up people have is figuring out what equipment they need for their channel, or how they can afford the professional equipment they feel like they have to have. I filmed my very first video with just my computer's webcam and internal microphone. The quality was not ideal, but that video got almost 1,000 views the first night I posted it. And more importantly, it gave me the little bit of traction that I needed to start my channel. And then after that, the next several videos that I ever posted were all filmed with just my iPhone. And most of those were even filmed with the front-facing camera, or the selfie camera, which we all know is of a way lower quality than the camera on the back of the phone. And the first videos I used my iPhone for, I used the phone's internal microphone, but then I bought a fairly cheap microphone off of Amazon. The microphone was admittedly not of the greatest quality, and I definitely got some comments from viewers complaining about the audio quality of my videos, but at that point I wasn't really sure where I was going with this YouTube channel, and so I wasn't willing to commit a lot of my money into buying a fancier microphone or outfitting my apartment with acoustic panels. And I figured people were watching my videos anyway, so it just wasn't a priority for me. Then I started using my Canon 70D to film my videos. Now, I bought this DSLR several years ago for my photography hobby, and I'm embarrassed to say that it really did take me several months to realize that I could also use this camera to film my YouTube videos. But I've been using this camera with a tripod ever since. I upgraded my microphone, but I still get some complaints in my comments about the volume and the echo in my videos. So it's obviously still not the most ideal setup. Now, I also need to talk about light. That's an important part of my YouTube setup. And for all of my videos, I depend on the sunlight. It's great in the sense that it's free and I think it looks great, but it's not ideal in the sense that it really restricts what times I'm able to film my videos, and then it's also really inconsistent because of the clouds, and then also obviously as the day progresses, the location of the sun moves, which makes my jump cuts just a bit annoying. I bought an LED ring light, but I haven't quite mastered how to use it properly and effectively. And I have such a small apartment, guys, that I'm not really willing to buy large pieces of equipment like box lights because I honestly have nowhere to store that stuff, let alone keep it set up in sort of a studio like some YouTubers are able to have. So right now, I'm just really thankful that I have a window that's relatively unobstructed by buildings or big trees, so I get a good amount of sunlight during the days so I can film on the weekends. For editing, I've used iMovie, which is installed on my Apple for every video except for my last video about Bob Ross, which I used DaVinci Resolve for. I think iMovie is great and ideal for beginners, but I'm hoping to learn more about DaVinci Resolve because it offers a lot more capability than iMovie, so hopefully I can get just a little bit more creative with my editing. The next topic topic to discuss is my YouTube schedule. For the majority of the time that I've had my YouTube channel, I've produced one video every week for consistency for both my viewers and the YouTube algorithm, and also to keep me on some sort of schedule. In the beginning, for several months, I was always posting that video on Sunday, but then I started to recognize that my channel was getting a lot more traffic on the weekends, so I decided to switch from posting on Sundays to posting on Fridays. And particularly, I try to post late in the morning Eastern Standard Time, which is later in the evening on Fridays in Germany, which is where the majority of my viewers are. Now, to post one video every week, I would basically spend my weeknights after work brainstorming video ideas, doing research, and then writing the outline and the script for my video. My videos, and therefore my scripts, really vary in length, but at a minimum, I try to write about 400 words a night, which on some nights, particularly on days when work was very demanding or I had to work late, writing 400 words was a bit brutal. As I'm sure anyone who's ever taken a college course or any sort of demanding course while working full-time can tell you. I would then film my video on either Saturday or Sunday because, like I said earlier, I need the sunlight to film, so it has to be a day that I'm not at work. But whenever summer hit, because the sun was rising so much earlier in the day, there were times that I was able to get up extra early and start filming at about 6:30 in the morning before I had to be at work. And yes, that is as exhausting as it sounds. And sometimes filming just one 10-minute video can end up taking me up to an hour or even longer to film because I don't have the greatest control over my filming environment. And not just because of the sun and the clouds like I talked about earlier, but also because of all of the ambient noise around me. I live in downtown DC on what happens to be a particularly busy street, and because of that, there is a lot of honking. The buses make a ton of noise, and there's a bus stop right below me. There is a streetcar that rattles and rings its bells every single time it goes through the intersection right next to me. I also happen to live right across from a church, which rings its bells on both Saturdays and Sundays. And then sometimes people decide to just start yelling at each other in the middle of the day, or there are dogs barking. And then, of course, there are lots of sirens. Lots and lots of sirens. After I'm done filming, I will then furiously edit all of the footage for about the next 10 hours or so, depending on how challenged I was in filming the video, the length of the video, and the complexity of the video, to mean if I had to film and edit any B-roll or use graphics or some special effects. Finally, I'll watch my video one last time just to make sure I catch any last errors, and then I will export it and start to upload it onto YouTube. While it's uploading is when I create my thumbnail by using PicMonkey, and then once that's all done and my video is uploaded, I fill out all of the ancillary information like the title and the description and tags and so on, and then I finally either hit publish or I set the video to publish at a specific time and date. All in all, I spend about 20 hours to produce each video. I'm a little ashamed to admit that because it's a lot of time. But yeah, a lot of my life revolves around YouTube, which actually leads me to my next topic, which is the commitment it takes to run a YouTube channel. This will truly be different for every creator, but like I just said, I spend about 20 hours making each video, and then on top of that, I spend about another 5 to 10 hours every week reading and responding to comments and also posting on my Instagram, which I use as a sort of running daily vlog so that people can keep up with me and see what I'm doing throughout the day. And it also gives me another great opportunity to engage with my viewers outside of the comment sections of my videos. Now, if I haven't made it clear yet, I am not a full-time YouTuber, okay? I have a job, which right now I'm working at about 40 to 50 hours a week. So if you factor in how much time I'm spending on YouTube, I'm essentially working 65 to 80 hours a week, which it's a lot. and it actually started to become a bit too much for me over the past several months. I started to feel a lot of anxiety and stress from the pressure that I was putting on myself to post every week, even when I wasn't feeling well or I had a weekend commitment, which would of course restrict my ability to film that weekend. Like I said, I rely on the sunlight, so it has to be the weekend that I film. And so out of necessity to keep up with my upload schedule, I found myself having to get up at 4:30 in the morning on a weekday in order to get in my morning workout, to get ready, and then film in the barely enough morning light before I had to be at work. And I'm just being honest with you guys, it really started to wear on me. And it's challenging for me to admit that because I'm the kind of person who likes to think I'm really tough and that I can push through fatigue and stress and any other obstacle in order to get done what needs to get done. But eventually I had to come to terms with reality. And a big part of why I had to come to terms with reality is because it started to have a very real and serious and negative impact on my relationship with my boyfriend. And I know that sounds like such a millennial first world problem, but it really was happening. I found that I just wasn't able to spend quality time with Misha, and then the little bit of time that we did spend together, I was stressed and overworked and probably not the most pleasant person to be around. And then on top of not being able to spend a lot of time with Misha, I also wasn't able to spend time doing the things I love and need to do for my own personal happiness and really my sanity. Things like going outside, even if it's just for a simple walk or a bike ride or a hike on the weekends. These are the things that I have to do, and being cooped up every weeknight and on the weekends to work on YouTube was just slowly destroying my happiness. And so finally, thankfully, I realized that I just couldn't keep doing it all anymore. And between Misha, my career, my happiness, and YouTube was clearly the ball that I had to let drop. So I took a step back and I reevaluated my channel and what I wanted out of it. And I decided to give myself a break, and that until I started to regain the energy I needed for it, I would switch from posting once a week to just once a month. And I'm happy to say that that was 3 months ago, and I have really started to feel like myself again. And I'm hoping to be able to start posting a bit more regularly in the next several months. So, moving on, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the interactions that I have with my viewers. This comes in many different forms, but the most significant of which, of course, is the comment sections of my videos. Now, comments on the internet are notorious for being incredibly toxic. And unfortunately, the comment sections of my videos are not exempt or void of that. I have read some extremely hateful things about me in the comments on my videos, and it has been a process for me to learn how to reconcile with these comments. I think that in the beginning, I just was giving these people writing these comments way too much credibility, in the sense that I just sort of made the assumption that everybody is of reasonable mind, and therefore I would give these comments too much power. Unfortunately, and I've come to learn that not everybody is of reasonable mind, and therefore there are some opinions out there that just should not be given much, if any, weight. And after learning that, I've gotten a lot better about just totally disregarding these comments because it's futile to engage with these people in most circumstances. And it's just not a good use of my energy, my time, and oftentimes my emotion. And if I do decide to write something, I typically try to just write something like thanks, to sort of try to remind that person that they really are engaging with a real person on the other side of their computer screen. And in the rare scenario, I've had a few people come back and actually apologize for their initial comment, telling me that they were just having a bad day and just taking it out on me. And these are always really good reminders for me that, you know, sometimes people are really struggling, whether or not they realize it. And they might be struggling in life in that very specific moment or that day, and their comments really are not a reflection of me more than it's a reflection of them and where they are. But fortunately, not all of the comments on my videos are hateful and toxic. There are some people who will give me some valuable feedback, which, even if it's not in the nicest tone, is oftentimes very helpful. There are some people who will share their own personal experiences and stories with me. There are people who will give me some more information about a topic I discussed in my video, so I'm actually able to learn from the comments sometimes. And then there are people who are just so kind and complimentary of me and my content, and it just puts the biggest smile on my face and really helps to restore some motivation in me, especially over these past several months. So these are the types of comments that I really try to focus on, because these are people taking time out of their day to write something meaningful to me. And it has been probably my favorite part of having a YouTube channel, is being able to interact and engage with so many different people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people from across the world, coming from all different cultures and lifestyles, and giving me information or perspectives that I would have never probably learned otherwise. It is honestly the coolest thing about having a YouTube channel, and I'm just in awe that I get to experience it. I've also gotten to meet with a few viewers, which is really cool, and I've gotten invites from others who are asking for me to come to their hometown and see what their lifestyle is like and teach me about their culture, which I think is awesome. And then I have a PO box set up where a few viewers have sent me some mail or packages, and those are always a lot of fun. I think I'm way too small of a channel and far too generic of a face to be recognized in public. Plus, the majority of my audience is in Germany and I am not in Germany, but still some crazy things have happened. Like, for example, Misha was at work and a couple coworkers came up to him and they were just engaging in casual conversation, and one brought up a video that they had just recently watched on YouTube, and it happened to be one of my videos, and they didn't even realize that Misha was my boyfriend or had any connection to me whatsoever. So that's kind of crazy to think about. And then he's had a few Facebook friends message him after they've recognized me in a photo I've tagged him in on Facebook, asking if I'm that girl on that YouTube channel. So these sort of things are always just kind of weird, because I didn't think about that at all when I started my channel. Alright, so moving on, in addition to interactions with viewers, I've also had some interactions with other YouTubers. Misha actually discovered a reaction video that a YouTuber did in response to my video about Las Vegas, which I found to be so crazy, because I live in this world where I'm still surprised anyone even watches my videos, let alone take the time to truly dissect them and make an entire video to discuss my views. views. I've also had the opportunity to do a few collaborations with other YouTubers like Doug Maidenford, who is an expert on the Pennsylvania Dutch. And then I put together a video of several YouTubers talking about their biggest recommendation of an area or city in Germany for people to see if they're visiting, which was a lot of fun for me to put together. I also met up with Haley Alexis in Munich last Christmas when I was visiting, and I got to meet William and Ryan from Builder Brothers Productions. Hey guys! And lately I've been able to talk to a lot of people who are starting out their YouTube channels asking me for some advice, and I find this to be so much fun because I love helping people and sharing all of the information that I've gained from being on YouTube for the last year and a half. And speaking of that, last but not least, I have learned so much from being on YouTube. Not just through researching the different topics that I present in my videos or by reading comments, but also because I've legit had to study up on copyright law and the fair use doctrine to understand what sort of third-party content I can use in my videos and how I have to employ that content in order to not get a copyright strike from YouTube, which puts my whole channel at risk for being completely shut down. And having this channel has also made me really critically think about freedom of speech and censorship, not just in terms of what I'm allowed to say in my videos under YouTube's guidelines, which, by the way, are far more prohibitive than our First Amendment, but also in how it relates to my comment section. I am the moderator of the comments on my videos, and I don't take this responsibility lightly. I have the ability to delete any comment that I want if it's a comment that I just don't like or that I find to be very critical of me. I can block entire users from even seeing my channel. But like I said, I don't take this responsibility lightly. So I really think about freedom of speech and censorship when I'm reading the comments. So if I receive a comment that's extremely racist, what do I do? Do I let that comment stand so that I can expose that person for the racist that they are? Or do I let it stand so that people are aware of the types of opinions people walking and living among us have and give them the opportunity to be able to refute those opinions? Or do I delete it because I don't want it to look like I promote that type of speech or even tolerate that type of speech? Or do I delete it because I don't want to incite or embolden others? These are the types of questions that I ask myself pretty much every day when I look at the comments of my videos, and it's just a different perspective, a different relationship that I feel like I have with the freedom of speech now. I've also learned a lot about myself and have undergone a considerable amount of personal growth and development from having this channel. For just one example, I was not good at taking criticism, constructive or not. I'm really good at criticizing myself, but I was not great at taking it from other people. But from having this channel and talking to Misha and my friends and family about my videos and reading the different comments offering me feedback, it has all been a giant exercise in learning how to receive criticism, constructive or not, and assess whether or not to adapt my channel or my videos or myself in accordance with that feedback. So when people ask me, what is it like to be on YouTube? I always give the quick bumper sticker response of, it's been an adventure. And perhaps after listening to just a small snapshot of my story, you can see why. And even though it has certainly added some stress to my life, I have truly benefited from having this YouTube channel, and I am so grateful for it, and I'm so grateful for people like you watching my videos and helping me to learn and grow. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and give your girl a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, click that subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. I'm very curious to hear any questions that you guys may have, or if you want to share what your experiences with YouTube has been like, so don't forget to leave those in the comments below. Thanks so much to all of my patrons. You guys are awesome for the support you've given me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!